Hello everyone, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Hunty MUA, otherwise welcome back. This week I am going to be getting into a second pride and kind of rainbow themed look, and I'm gonna kind of tell my coming out story and how that all went down and how it's affected me and how I deal with things today, and just kind of get into that while I do some makeup. So stay tuned if you want to see this look come to life. Don't forget to subscribe to my socials, Hunty725 on Instagram, Hunty MUA725 on TikTok. Those are my big ones. Subscribe if you're not already. Go check out some of my other videos. Hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I upload a new video, and give this one a thumbs up for me. Also check out the description box below for all of the products I've used, as well as links to some other videos and my social media accounts, just in case I forget to mention anything or kind of glaze over it. And let's get into this rainbow themed look. One last thing, I'll throw this little tidbit in there. Don't forget to share my videos everywhere you can. As soon as I reach 500 subscribers, I'm going to do a giveaway, which I'm super excited about. But I've still got a little ways to go until I get there, unless something blows up overnight. We're growing slowly but surely, and we're getting there, and I can't wait to do that. So don't forget to share away. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and get into my eyebrows. I'm gonna use my Anastasia Brow Wiz in medium brown. I'll be right back when I'm done with those. My brows are all filled in. Before I clean them up with some concealer, I'm gonna prime my face. I'm gonna go in with my One Size Secure The Blur Primer. This has been my favorite primer as of late. So I guess I'll just kind of start from the beginning. I grew up in the South, as you all know, I believe I've mentioned before. And it wasn't the greatest, which is why I got out when I could. So everyone is pretty set in their traditional ways there, as in a man marries a woman, has a family. Something about all that just never quite vibed right with me from the get-go. But I grew up in a home with a very supportive mother and a father that tended to do things like he wanted me to play sports and stuff like that. First of all, I was a fat kid, so I wasn't good at sports, and it just didn't interest me. I didn't like that kind of stuff. I was eccentric from a young age. I liked music and theater. My mom always let me be exactly who I wanted to be, and I am forever grateful for that. I'm priming now under my eye with my Jaclyn Cosmetics Hydrating Under Eye Primer. So I knew probably that I was gay, I don't know, probably when I was 3 or 4. I remember being a little kid and being at the beach and seeing a boy with his shirt off in a pool and thinking to myself, wow, you know, something in my brain says I like that. But when you grow up in a place like that, you're brought to believe that that's not okay. And that's what I struggled with for the longest time, was thinking that it wasn't okay and trying to suppress it. And I tried that for years. I did not end up coming out until I went off to college. I grew up in the South. I didn't know how it was gonna go. I was terrified. But I had to start living as myself and being authentic, and I couldn't stand not to anymore. The first person I actually came out to was my dear friend Maddie in high school, and I was still in high school when I did that. So that's kind of when I started, but I fully started coming out to the world when I was in college. Conceal my brows real quick and I'll be right back. Brows are all cleaned up. So let me backtrack a little bit. A big part of growing up as a closeted gay man in the South is people knew I was gay before I was comfortable with it, before I even, had that full realization. And, I got called names, so many slurs. I was made fun of for my weight because I was a bigger kid. I was made fun of because I liked band and theater and not football and baseball. All my friends were girls because they didn't make fun of me. And that was really hard I have pretty thick skin, so I dealt with it pretty well. But when my mom got remarried to my amazing stepdad, and I had the option to move and get out, I took it, I ran with it, I got out. High school was a good experience. I fully could have came out in high school and my life would have been fine, but I didn't know. I was scared, I wasn't ready. So I waited until college. Add a little bit of hydration back into my skin with some Matte Fix Plus. I'm gonna get into foundation now. I'm gonna use my NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation in the shade Yukon. This is L2.5. I really, really love this foundation. It's probably my current favorite. Yes, I know this color match is not the best, but what are you gonna do? It's not too far off. I will say that I forgot to tell you all, I didn't really forget, I just am getting into the video, so, and this is news as of a few days ago, I officially got added to my first PR lists, which is super exciting. They're for pretty small brands. One is a local LGBTQ owned brand, and I'm super excited. The other is a brand that a friend of mine started a year or two ago, and I am just super excited and flattered to get to grow with these up and coming brands. So I'm gonna go in now with concealer. I'm going to use, of course, my Hourglass Airbrush Vanish Concealer in the shade Creme, or Creme, however you choose to say it. So as I got into high school, I met openly gay people, and I had not in the South. It was shocking to see at first because, like, at the time, and I mean, admittedly the South has gotten better, but it's still not good. So getting to meet people in the LGBT community that were out and open about it, that was a big deal. Like, for me to really see people living authentically, and it made it easier for me to come to terms with, which took, you know, several years. And I did a lot of thinking as I started growing and maturing. And finally, you know, I got to the point where I was a senior in high school and I was like, this is me and it's not gonna change, and I need to start learning how to deal with it and live with it so I can actually live. So at some point, something just shifted in my brain and it stopped scaring me. So I came out to one of my very best friends, who I still love very dearly and am still very close with to this day. You know, it was accepting and it was a good experience. And past that, I didn't really do anything else until I got to college. There were a few instances of me, you know, coming out publicly to groups of people in college. Like, someone on my floor, someone had seen me on like Tinder. I got Tinder when I got to college and set my preferences for men. Someone saw me on there and other people heard, and I just got asked one day, hey, are you gay? And I was terrified to answer, but I was like, I can't lie. Like, this is me. And so I said yes, and they're like, okay. The first time I out loud told someone that I was gay was at a small little party my freshman year of college, and it was so incredibly freeing. And I finally, a couple months into my freshman year of college, decided it was time to tell my parent, i.e. my mom and stepfather. By the way, I am cream contouring with my Patrick Ta Major Sculpt. And I was scared, and I waited until college because never once when I was growing up did my mom tell me it wasn't okay to be gay. It wasn't talked about. And she, over the years, has grown and evolved in her way of thinking and living, and just, I am so proud of the person that my mom is, and I'm proud that she's my mom because she's just super supporting and great. So I told my parents, and my mom, you know, just asked for a little bit of time to herself and just thought on things and came to me and was like, you know, I don't know why I thought I needed time to think about anything. Like, you're my kid. And it was that simple. and past that, it's been great, and she has grown. My stepdad has been just as accepting. My father, however, not the greatest thing at first. It's admittedly gotten better since, but I got a big pray the gay away type speech, and it was like, so many people try to pick and choose parts of scripture that they want to listen to and parts that they don't, and want to acknowledge some sins and not acknowledge others, and like, you can't do that. So once I came out and was openly gay, I met so many people and really got into the depths of my drinking problem. And that, for the longest time, is why I struggled so much in relationships, because it's not that I was necessarily a violent person, but I wasn't pleasant to be around. I wasn't myself, and no one knew what to do about that for such a long time. And that's something I'm gonna get into next month, because I'll be a year sober next month, and I really want to open up to you all about that. So I just didn't have the best luck with men in college, and I still don't, even after getting sober, but things come at different times for different people. Just because I see it working for someone else doesn't mean it's gonna, you know, immediately work out for me, and I've had to learn to accept that and be okay with it. The biggest part of coming out, I think what I was so scared for, was coming out to my mom's parents, just because when you're raised in a place like the Deep South, like, you don't know anything other than that. Like, that's all you know, unfortunately, especially the older generations. So I was terrified. So I had my mom do it for me. So I was a little scared, and I had my mom come out to them for me because I'm a little chicken. Like, my grandpa, who was still alive at the time, was like, yeah, I'm not surprised. And my Nana has been super great and loving. And that was a really big deal to me, was seeing my grandpa leave this world, knowing he knew me for exactly who I was and loved me and accepted me. So I'm gonna go ahead and carve out my cream contour with my Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. I forgot what this was for a second. This foundation is so pretty. What the heck? Let me go ahead and prime my eyelids with my Louise eyeshadow base. This is in the shade Rumour 02, like usual. So as usual, before I go ahead and set my face, I'm just gonna go in underneath my eyes, make sure there's no creasing around the nose there, forehead area especially. I'm gonna set my face. I'm gonna go in with my Anastasia translucent setting powder. So now that I look a little crazy, I'm gonna get into some eyes, and I'm gonna keep talking to you. I'm gonna use a couple different palettes. Mostly I'm gonna be using the Blends palette from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. Who follows me on Instagram now? That's very exciting to me. Geek out a little bit. So I'm gonna do the first eye off camera, and then I'll be back to show you how I got it on the other side. So I'm back, and I know it looks kind of weird, but it'll come together. Trust me, I'm gonna show you what I did. No, all of the colors I'm using are not gonna be on the top of the eye, and that's okay. If you're thinking rainbow look, I see 4 colors and some white glitter. You are correct. So the first thing I'm doing is taking an orange shade. I'm not going to show you specific shades in this palette, just because I know not all of you have this palette and it's in very high demand. Once again, I am using the Blends palette. It's fabulous. If you can ever get your hands on it, amazing. So I'm going to take an orange shade and kind of put this in the inner area of my eye, blend it out just a little bit, but not too much, because another color is going to surround that orange. And you do want to kind of pack it at first, just because there are going to be so many colors, and each one, the purpose is to stand out, because it's, you know, rainbow, woo. And then blend out a little bit. And that's about as much as I'm going to blend it out. because I'm gonna take another shade around that. So I'm gonna take a brighter yellow next, and regardless of if you're doing this with a different color combination, you wanna take something a little lighter above, just so the contrast works okay. I'm gonna take this yellow on the tiniest blending brush that I have and blend this around and into that orange, but still make sure that enough of it stands out. I'm gonna take a little bit more of that orange just because I want it a little bit higher into my crease. It just doesn't, like, it doesn't matter what combination of colors you use from this palette, it blends together so easily. And that's one of the big reasons I love it. And then I'm just kind of blending them both over a little bit. I want the eye to remain really open, and that's where that shimmer is going in the middle, as you can see there. So I'm gonna leave space, and then I'm gonna pick up some different colors. So next thing I'm going to do, I'm gonna take a brighter green shade. I'm gonna take that on a small-ish blending brush, a little bit bigger for the outer corner here, and I'm gonna start with packing it. So just kind of pack that down first, blend it out a little bit more. I'm gonna take my tiny, tiny little blending brush again, and then I'm gonna take a bright blue shade to put around and above that and blend together with the green. And I am going in a few times with this blue just because I really want this to punch. Sometimes some of this stuff stands out differently on camera than it does like in a mirror or in a photo. I'm packing a little bit more of that green in just so it pops, and then I'm gonna keep blending. So that's about all I'm gonna do up top there besides a shimmer shade. I'm also gonna use my NikkieTutorials Beauty Bay palette, and I'm gonna go in with this white shimmer up top in the middle called Ivy. I'm just gonna take that on my finger, put it in the middle of all this. So now that I am done up top with the eyes there, it's a little bit of a close-up so you can kind of see what I did there. I'm gonna go ahead and get this baking powder off. So I'm gonna go in with my Last Act translucent setting powder, ooh, big fingerprint on the mirror, from Jaclyn Cosmetics, and just dust this all over. I'm just gonna take some MAC Studio Fix powder foundation, touch up a few areas real quick. So I'm gonna go in and finish up the eyes. I'm just going to put some red, pink, and purple on the bottom. You'll kind of see what I'm doing. So other than adding a white liner, that is pretty much it for the eyes, and it will look a little bit more put together for lashes. I know it's a little dragged out down below, but that was kind of the point, so you can still see all of the colors. I am going to go ahead and line my waterline with some white liner. I'm gonna go ahead and bronze up the face a little bit. I'm gonna use my Fenty Beauty Stalkr Instant Warmth Bronzer in the shade Private Island. So even still to this day, you know, I get weird looks out in public, especially if I'm wearing makeup. I mean, come on. I might not live in the deep south anymore, but I live in a very conservative state. It just freaks people out, and I wish it was, you know, easy for people to just understand I like makeup. Like, that's all there is to it. I have learned to live free and happy, and that's really important to me. Bit of a more intense bronzer. I haven't used this in a while, but that's okay. So I am going to set my bronzer in place. I'm going to use my Jaclyn Cosmetics Under Eye Powder in Brightening Lilac. So So I let that bake for a bit at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You see what I did there? Ha 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 ha. It's funny, it's baking like in an oven. Yeah. I can't decide if I want to add liner to this. I kind of do. So I am going to put on some mascara real quick. Actually, I think I'm gonna do some eyeliner first. I'm gonna use my Haus Labs liquid liner in Punk. So did a little small wing on both sides. Curl my lashes real quick before I put on some mascara. For mascara, I'm gonna go in with my Fenty Full Frontal Mascara. This mascara is amazing. I have not heard, if you know of any new mascaras that have come out as of late that are, you know, like good and becoming a thing, let me know, because all these brands keep launching stuff, but I'm not seeing anyone launching mascaras. For lashes, I'm gonna use my One Size lashes in Come Through. Like I mentioned before, I love these lashes and I do cut these down a little bit. In regards to my coming out process, are there parts of it I wish I could have changed? Yeah. Honestly, I wish I would have done it earlier. And when I was in high school, I feel like things might have gone a bit different for me. So I am going to get some lashes on and I will be right back. Okay, so now I have some lashes on. I will never stop being obsessed with these lashes. So I'm gonna go ahead and brush away this baking powder. So after I've baked the bronzer, I like to brighten just a little bit more. I'm gonna go in with my Face It All Brightening and Setting palette in the Fair to Light shade range. I like taking the top two shades, mixing them together. And I just like taking this underneath the eye. Next, I'm gonna go in with blush. I'm gonna use my Moon Prism Blush Palette by Lunar Beauty. This is Hunty MUA's brand. He just launched a new palette too. I love blush. I don't think I will ever stop loving blush so much. I'm gonna go in for some lips next, and I'm gonna do something a little crazy. I'm gonna use a red. So I'm gonna use Jaclyn Cosmetics liner in the shade Praline, just because I want a bit of a contrast, but this is a deeper brown that has almost a red tone to it. Interesting. Should I just leave them lined like that? And then for lipstick, I'm gonna be using my Patrick Ta. This is just a matte lipstick, and the shade is called She's Not From Here. It's this lovely, like, orangey toned bright red. It's beautiful. I haven't worn this in a while, but I love it. I almost forgot what it was like to work with a regular stick lipstick. I'm gonna go ahead and set my face, and then I'll go in with some highlighter. For setting spray, I am going to use my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. So for highlighters, I'm gonna do a couple different things. I'm gonna take my Jaclyn Cosmetics Mood Light powder in the shade Do Me first. This gives a more like subtle lit from within kind of glow, and I'm gonna put that, I'm gonna be a little more generous with this than I am my regular highlighter. Do you see that just healthy glow that it gives though? It's more subtle, so I'm just gonna put that, kind of put it further down the cheekbone than where I would normally put, you know, highlighter and whatnot. I'm also gonna put it up where I've bronzed the forehead. And then I'm going to take my Accent Light highlighter in Sparks and just keep this one more focused. I'm also gonna highlight my brow bone and inner corner with this one. I don't think I'll ever stop being a highlighter bitch. Like, at this point, it's like, yeah, I heard that the trend was going out or whatever, and I was like, not here, baby. So I'm gonna do something a little bit different from my brow bone that I haven't done in a while. I'm gonna take a glitter liner since there's not a whole lot of space left up there. And very lastly, I'm gonna set my eyebrows in place, throw on some lip gloss. Set my eyebrows down, I'm gonna use my Anastasia brow freeze. I need a brow brush. So before I put the brow freeze, or you can use just, you know, brow gel, whether it's clear or tinted, whatever you wanna use. I like to brush through them, get the powder out first. And before I forget, I'm gonna throw on lip gloss. This is Gloss Bomb in the shade Cheeky. I believe this one was a holiday special. I don't know why I don't wear red lipstick more often. So that is the finished look. I hope you all enjoyed watching this one, following along. Let me know if you ever decide to recreate something, and I hope you all enjoyed listening to my coming out story and just my experience. You know, it's part of who I am, and it's just a really big deal to me to be able to live as my authentic self. Happy Pride Month again. If you like this video, go check out some of my other ones. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Give this one a thumbs up. Click that bell icon so you're notified every time I post a new video. Go follow my socials. I'm Hunty725 on Instagram, Hunty MUA725 on TikTok, where I just reached 1,000 followers, which is super exciting. So go follow me there. Snapchat and Twitter linked in my header and my logo on the next screen. And thank you all again. I cannot wait for next week's video. I'm gonna have a very special guest on my channel. So thanks again, and everyone have a great weekend. Bye everyone.
I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a blood, gonna drown a mind. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me.